Hello everyone, this is Rugio Duelis. I know it's been a while since last time I uploaded. I'm here once again to do a deck profile on my Floowandereeze deck. I know it's been a while since I last uploaded, so let's just get on to it. I think I like this version pretty well. So I got top 4 at a locals tournament, 45 players, no joke. Let's get started with the deck profile. Now, I did mention that I wanted to do other deck profiles in the future. I'm more of a control player, but let's get started. I'll do the deck profile, then more info on the card analysis and what I will most definitely be doing for the future. So let's get started. So I main deck 2 copies of M-Pen. I believe this is like the first time or one of a few times where I main deck 2. I'm starting to like 2 better in the main deck. That may or may not change with time, but right now 2 worked out for me in this tournament. If you've seen my other videos, we play 3 Rabina. You guys know what this does, or what she does, I should say. Searches for itself or any of the other little birds in the deck. 3 copies of Eaglin. You guys know what Eaglin does. She searches for the boss monsters. We are just playing 1 copy of Stree. So far, 1 copy of Stree has worked so well. I don't think I've bricked or felt like I needed the second copy. For the longest time, I've been playing 2. At first, it was 1. Then I bumped it up to 2, and 2 was working fine. I think 1 again. I think in this format, 1 is okay in the main deck. I haven't run into situations where I need a second one yet, but I like it as a 1 of in this version of the deck. 1 toucan to recur the Floowandereeze monster spells or traps from the banish pile. And for the not quite sure if this is the first time, can't seem to remember, but I'm main decking 2 Mega Ryza. Now here's the thing. This card was good, but I never managed to resolve both in any duel. It was 6 rounds plus top 8. In the 8 duels that I participated, I never managed to get 2 on the field or resolve both of them in the same duel. So I might just cop 1 copy of the Mega Ryza altogether and just main deck 1. It was okay. It almost never brick because I main deck 4 big birds, but still. I think for the future or for the time being, I'm just going to cut it to 1. I think 1 is the best option for now. I'm playing double Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. This, just like the Mega Ryza, it rarely breaks even main decking 2, but this was definitely better than main decking 2 Mega Ryzas, that's for sure. It did come in handy in a couple of duels where I managed to get a second copy of the Barrier Statue on the field. During my opponent's turn or during my next turn. All right, let's move on. Starting to play more hand trust, so I main deck triple ash. Not let your opponent resolve their best cards. Your Hellet Fireaxe for combo decks. Your Scarlet Sanguines for decks like Eldritch. Then we play triple copies of Ghost Ogre and Haunted Mansion. So I'm sure that I know that for a fact that this is like the hand trap of the format. But fun fact, I never once drew or resolved this in any of the 8 duels and or should I say 8 rounds during this tournament, like ever. For the most part, I actually had to side deck this card going 2nd and 3rd. It never appeared. Maybe it's just one of those tournaments where I did only face one branded Despia, so I'm not sure what long story short, she was good. I didn't see her. I would not cut her. I think she's still very useful, but she just didn't do much in this tournament. Moving on, we are playing 3 copies of Dimension Shifter, aka the best hand trap in this deck. Self-explanatory. You guys know what Dimension Shifter does, /D Shifter. Now let's go on to the spells. We play triple copies of the field spell. guys know what this does. Triple copies of the quick play spell, Floowandereeze and Advent of Adventure. Now, for these last few builds I've been doing in the last like 2 months, 2.5, I've been cutting off Book of Moon. I'm not sure if it was the right call, but I think the deck still works pretty well. One copy of the Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds. This was very useful in the tournament, as it will be for most duels. Triple Prosperity. Get those combo pieces out as soon as possible. Triple Duality, same thing. And now we are main decking 2 Cosmic Cyclones. Now here's the thing, this deck is very vulnerable to floodgates and certain spells and traps, as well as like Lancia if they do the Scythe lock or the Lancia lock. So I am starting to main deck 2 Cosmic Cyclones. I think this is the best like floodgate removal, spell and trap removal for Floowandereeze. It's so good. You can activate it during the draw phase, the standby phase. And I don't think I'm ever going to cut this card off the deck because of the floodgates and the fact that this deck going second is very vulnerable to certain cards. So I am main decking 2. I do not regret it. So far it's worked out pretty well. And the final 2 cards in the main deck. This is a 40 card deck. The one called by the grave. Say no to those hand traps. And last but not least, Floowandereeze in the Dreaming Town, aka the trap card that allows you to do everything combo off during the opponent's turn and ruin your opponent's day. Now let's go on to the extra deck. I'll go by this real quick because it's mostly, they're rarely going to be used. They're mostly Pot of Prosperity targets, so they will rarely be used. Some fusion targets. You guys seen these cards? If you guys can see these cards up close, then you know what they do. And now let's go real quick to the side deck. So for the side deck, I decided to main deck 3 copies of Harpy's Featherstorm once again. Side deck, I should say, 3 copies of Harpy's Featherstorm. You know what this does. If I control any of my birds, the winged beasts, not including Rabina and Stree, your opponent does not play Yu-Gi-Oh! Then we side deck 3 copies of Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. She was useful in one duel, in one match, but unfortunately, I believe, my honest belief is that this card, it works better when there's like, probably like 6 to 5 minutes left on the clock to gain those life points and win with time. But again, she unfortunately wasn't very useful. But again, I learned a lesson from using this card. It's not bad, it's good, but the timing has to be perfect, and timing is everything with this card, long story short. Then we played 3 copies of Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. I think this card was better. This card, with time, let's say 15 to 10 minutes on the clock, even on game 2 and you're not on time, this card is very, very good against a lot of combo decks. Special summoning is crazy. You use this, you negate your opponent's monster's effects. Again, infinite impermanence and effect veiler. As a side deck option against combo decks, I really liked it. I think it was very, very good. Very underrated hand trap. Then, continuing on, there are still like 6 cards left. So, the 3rd Cosmic Cyclone and 1 Dark Simorgh for Eldritch, and again, for more heavy back row decks. Then we side deck 2 Super Poly. I could have done 3, but I think 2 is good enough. I heard that Super Poly, while great as it can be, again, it'll mostly be used for probably branded Despia, so I think 2 is okay. Maybe I might bump it out, I might take it out. Only time will tell. And finally, the final 2 cards in the side deck, Ret Reboot and Harpy's Feather Duster for, again, back row removal. Specifically, Eldritch, and that is it. That is my Floowandereeze deck profile for today. Now, to end things off, I just wanted to let you know what were my matchups. So, again, I came in top 4 in this tournament. I believe I fought Branded Despia, Branded Eldritch, Cyber's Eldritch, Pendulum Magician with DP, aka Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. The next match, round number 5, I believe it was Sword Soul, And dinosaurs. I lost it to the Sword Soul player and the dinosaur player. But I managed to I went X2, but surprisingly I didn't reach top 8. Again, I couldn't believe it. On top 8, I went, strangely enough, I went up against the same Sword Soul player that defeated me on round 3, I believe, was it? And but this time I won, but against the dinosaur, and I fought the same dinosaur player that defeated me in round 6. Unfortunately, I lost to him again, but nonetheless, it was a good experience. I learned a couple of things. I'm proud of this deck. I really, really like it. All right, that is it. There's my explanation and my Floowandereeze top 4 deck profile. Thank you for watching this video. So for the future, to end things off, I will be doing more deck profiles on this. This is easily my very best deck, but I will try to top with other decks in these upcoming months. Hopefully it all goes well. All right, that's it. Have a great day and play if you can.